just take the little
Yep.
Well, will do. Before I start, I've just received a Facebook message from Mikey to say he's been caught up with a ringtail in Bowles Creek Valley, but he'll be here shortly. Well, it's just like deja vu. About this time last year, he launched Mikey's first book with the intention of, and I quote, educating, entertaining and engaging people on the powerful owl. And with your support, we managed to do that, selling 400 copies and raising over $2,000 for BirdLife Australia's Powerful Owl project, managed by the wonderful Dr. Beth Mott, who supports the local volunteer citizen scientists, Michael, Trish, Stuart, Steve and Gina. Sadly, we learned a week ago that federal funding for this amazing project expires in June 2018. This is not good news for the vulnerable owl species. Mikey's year got off to a rough start when trees around his roost were allegedly illegally cleared in February without the proper consent conditions. Within a week, the community rallied in the valley with the support of local and mainstream media, in print and on the airwaves. 9 months later, Mikey is looking forward to Council's Clever Legal Eagles Day in the Land and Environment Court. While this is the main theme of Mikey's second book, it also chronicles his efforts to stop the chop, prevent water pollution from construction sites in our waterways, and save other powerful owl habitats under threat from development, such as South Dural and more recently, the forest in danger, adjacent to Cumberland State Forest in West Pennant Hills. In his spare time, Mikey sat for an Archibald Prize portrait, courtesy of Mulder the artist. He became a mascot for the half-hour hoot on Triple H 100.1 FM, our local community radio station. And the most mentioned raptor in Hansard history, thanks to the efforts of Mark Pearson from the Animal Justice Party and his green friends, David Shoebridge and Red. So what does the year ahead hold for Mikey? Well, we'd like to think that with your support, we'll sell 500 books and donate $2,500 to Sydney Wildlife, who rescue, rehabilitate and release our orphaned, sick and injured native birds and animals. Please consider buying a book or two or more as a Christmas gift this year. Before I fly, please bear with me while I thank some very special people in our community who have made Mikey's second book and this event possible. Michael, without your amazing photography and design work, this book would still be a thought bubble. Thank you. To Deirdre for editing, advice, friendship and being an excellent bouncer on the door this evening. Our book publisher, for all your support, and likewise to the Beecroft Cheltenham Civic Trust. Paul, Beth, the Children's Bookshop for hosting our launch and promoting the book. Couldn't have done it without you this year or last year. To Wayne, Lisa, Ali and Tracy for the amazing Beecroft Place window display. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. The local and mainstream media for their generous coverage of the Bowles Creek Valley Union, Mikey and copyright consent, and McLeod, as we've heard the reading from Jimmy. To Mikey's Facebook friends and all the tree warriors in the audience. There's about 20 local community groups here, so thank you. Jimmy of Beards On, who is actually the Nature Conservation Council's Rising Star 2017. And for all you and Jess do for the environment. Almost finished. Sydney Wildlife, particularly Deb Fleet and Jackie Marlowe, the PAL specialist. Dr. Maureen Faruqi for the book Afterward and her continuing support for our environment. The Ross family, Graham for the book Forward and your unwavering commitment to our local community, habitat and heritage on 2GB873. Linda as well for her support and 2UE interview, 2UE 954 interview, and Kent for the Garden Clinic magazine advert, which is out now. and a few others. Sue for her great advertising artwork, Ken for the video, Jean for the book review, Eva of Levy and Rose for the flowers, and Donna of the provider for catering. And finally, Brett, for your patience in living with my alter ego for the last To conclude, on March 9 this year, Mikey received a Facebook message from a young friend who saw his photo on the front page of the Weekly Times. John Booth, are you? Yeah, John put the photo on the front page of the Weekly Times, and this little boy sent Mikey a drawing. That drawing appears on page 87 of Mikey's book, and I'm delighted that JT is the next generation of tree warrior in our area. Thanks so much for being part of Mikey's journey and sharing his story, because together we can make a difference. If we don't, as I said, same time, same place last year, the only place our kids, grandkids and great-grandkids will see the majestic Mikey and his bestie Gabby the Gangan cockatoo is not in the wild, but stuffed in a glass museum case or on the pages of this book. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia, obviously, for all you do, and Michael, and everyone else we know who's involved. It's just so brilliant to see that what you have been able to bring together and the people. So keep it up, don't go away, because we need more people like you, so thank you.
It's Mikey. Mikey sent a message.
Woohoo! Do you remember me? Yes, of course it's me, Mikey.
Mikey.
As you can see, I'm growing up fast, from a cute little fluffy powerful owlet into a big brave powerful owl. And I'm leading the campaign to save my home in Biles Creek Valley and beyond. All of my friends are on the case too. Clancy the cockatoo, Keith the kookaburra, Maggie the magpie, Ted the tawny frogmouth, Boo 1 and Boo 2, the southern boo-bok owls, Bert the brush turkey, Percy the possum, Bart the bat, Eddie the echidna, Walter the water dragon, and of course my bestie Gabby, the gang cockatoo. And we're spreading our wings and sharpening our claws to give a voice to other threatened species across Australia. What a hoot! My mum Sheba and Dad Solomon, or Fish Cake to his closest friends, are so proud of my achievements. Can you believe that I've become a celebrity with hundreds of Facebook friends, no less than 4 front pages in the local print media, a mention in New South Wales State Parliament, and even a radio program, the Half Hour Hoot? But sadly, our powerful owl family, including my big brother Stevie and my little twin siblings Georgie and Porgie, are still at risk of eviction from our home in Biles Creek Valley. It's an ecologically significant 350-hectare wildlife corridor on the Epping, Cheltenham, Beecroft, Pennant Hills border, adjoining the Lane Cove National Park, just 25 kilometres or around a half-hour drive from Sydney CBD. I hope you enjoy the next chapter of my life, because I still believe in fairy tales, and have my claws crossed this one's got a happily ever after ending. Hugs and kisses, Mikey. And by the way, because I'm such a clever little powerful owlet, following in the claw steps of my mum and dad, I've got a pretty good grip on economic fundamentals and get the hang of supply and demand. Bye!
That was great. Now, you showed me as grandfather. Who was the one that I saw?
Mikey. Mia's over there.
No, sorry.
You saw Mikey's dad.
Father.
Fish Cake.
Well, without further ado, I think you know who this fella is. So Michael's going to talk about his wonderful photographic skills, capturing these most special birds in our area. And I was privileged enough. Michael took me out to see these powerful owls, but maybe it's something you should do, because I know it's a tricky thing, but to get more people seeing these, like we've talked about this, education, getting students down there, local, schools, Beecrofts around the corner, something a bit of food for thought. So over to you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, photography is just the means of getting our message across. It could be music, it could be anything. I mean, I try and do both. Music, I write a lot of songs about the environment, and I take a lot of shots. To me, it's the most powerful medium to actually get across. According to the politicians, when they see me coming and I've got a camera, you can see the daggers just shooting from their eyes. And I've noticed that just recently in the by-election at Benelong. It's been a really interesting occasion. Listen, I can thank Trish Brown for for first introducing me to the powerful owls. Now, Trish spoke to me a number of years back when I was photographing the destruction of the trees along the rail line from the appalling Epping to Thornley Third Track Alliance, and Deb spoke about the way they cut down trees, and down came the cockatoos. Well, we saw when the bunya pine came down, about 2 possums fell out of that tree, and bang, did they hit hard. Now, we don't know what ended up happening with those possums, but photography is really powerful to get the message across, because we have social media now, and social media is the bane of a lot of governments at the moment. It's the way that actually gives people like me and everyone a voice. It's probably true democracy in some respects, although it does have its problems. So listen, it's a real labour of love with the powerful owls. They actually can bring tears to your eyes. Like Mikey and his offspring are pretty amazing. The ones that were born this year, little Archie, I mean, if he doesn't become Prime Minister of Australia, I don't know, what powerful owl would, because I've never seen a bird that's actually fledged that quick and just want to get into life that quickly. So, do the half-hour Who program. I let Georgia script everything, and I just write off what she says. So you should be throwing questions my way. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn this political, but what I can say is I've spent the last week talking to a number of politicians. I've spoken with Christine Keneally, I've spoken with John Alexander, I've spoken with Justin Owlet, I've had Julian Lesser come down and sit. Now, I've given them all the information, I've taken them, I've shown them stuff, I've done my bit. They're our elected officials. It's time, the ball's in their court, they have to do their bit. Now, I've got to say, I was really underwhelmed by John Alexander and Christine Keneally's knowledge of the area and the powerful owls and environmental issues in general. So I'm going to spend, and it's away from photography, but I'm going to spend the last week of pre-polling and election day handing out flyers on where these parties stand environmentally in our area and whether they're going to call out overdevelopment's impact on it, because as far as I can see, Labor and the Liberals unfortunately are nowhere to be seen environmentally, and they seem to be just a party that's going to be representing their party and not the people. And just finally, I'd just like to say, wouldn't it be good if the trees were considered infrastructure by the state government? Thank you.
Actually, get good looks. Yeah.
I got some beauties today.
Our next guest speaker is talking about our environment, and that will be the wonderful Dr. Marie. Marie, sorry.
I'll start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land we gathered on and pay my respects to their elders past and present. This land always has been and always will be Aboriginal land. So today is a good day. Just this morning, the Federal Senate passed the Marriage Equality Bill. Campaigners who have been campaigning for decades, and I think this is what activism and grassroots politics does. It might take a bit longer, or we get there in the end, and we always have to keep that in our side. But of course, it's a good day because we're launching Georgia and Michael's wonderful second book. And I had the real privilege of being here and speaking at the launch of the first book, which was Mikey's Voice, about why to protect Byles Creek Valley, and it is a real privilege to be back here for the second one as well. And I've also had the pleasure of actually visiting Byles Creek Valley with Michael actually and Georgia, and actually coming face to face with the beautiful Mikey and his family, Georgie, Porgy, Stevie, and many others. And I think it is really important for people to go and visit our natural environment, because that's when you really realize the value of it and really that it is invaluable. But we do know that we face some challenges at the moment. I found out last week as well from our Greens councillor for Hornsby, Emma Heidi, that the Powerful Owl project was actually going to lose funding in 2018. So I immediately wrote to the New South Wales Environment Minister, and I have really requested, pleaded, asked her to continue on the funding from New South Wales as well. Because, we have to provide permanent protection to some parts of our state. That is so critical. And I know that Justin Alec, our candidate for Benelong, as well, has committed to providing that funding if he wins the election, also for protecting the bushland around this area and many others in New South Wales as well. But you know as well as I do that we do face very challenging times, especially in New South Wales. I have to say that I haven't seen in my 25 years in Australia, and people tell me even before that, such an anti-environment government that is deliberately pushing to destroy the environment. Of course, we remember the devastation of the 1050 tree chopping routes. We know that overdevelopment is willy-nilly, again, decimating our environment. We know Michael talked about the ETTT, the way transport projects or infrastructure projects are planned and rolled out. It's just complete destruction and decimation. And of course, the recently passed, and I call them ecocidal land clearing laws, because I think if the devastation starts, and it will start pretty soon, we will not be able to come back from it. We really won't be able to come back from it. But it is also, there are many encouraging signs. It was great to see this week that the Nature Conservation Council has actually launched a legal case against those really destructive ports, because they have no social license at all. And hopefully we'll soon find out that they have no legal standing either. But of course we can't give up our fight on the streets, in the bush, in our national parks, any way that we can to make sure. And I think, to be really frank, I just think we need to kick this Liberal National Government out. I think that's the way, really, that is the ultimate way of making sure that we then bring in laws, relegate these laws to the history books, and make sure that we bring in laws that protect the environment. And I'm talking about both the Berejiklian government and the Turnbull government. And I hope Justin will play a big part in a couple of weeks in doing that as well. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's where we ultimately need to go. But to do that, we have to really grow our movement much stronger than it is at the moment. And to Michael and Georgia and everyone who's involved in this book, I thank you from the bottom of my heart and congratulate you. Because books like this really engage many more people that we haven't engaged before. They are a really powerful tool. Just the words, the really amazing words and beautiful photography capture people's attention. And that's an important way to start to grow our movement as well. And especially in Mikey's voice. I mean, Mikey has become a leading voice for environmental protection. And I think he should be the mascot for Big Crawford. I think we can start that campaign as well really soon. So thank you everyone for being involved, and I might just end by saying, woo-hoo!